Unpopular opinion, I think Seinfeld sucks.
Seinfeld's dog shit.
It's not that
good.
funny.
For its time, it was great. It was like revolutionary.
I mean, for its time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like maybe comedies evolved
for
too much
any
at this
time.
point in time.
Yeah, I feel like that's how all nostalgia is. Like when we're nostalgic about things, it's like, oh, it was just so perfect. It's like realistically, it sucked. It's just like it just encapsulated like a part of you kind of thing.
It was niched up. It was because Jerry Seinfeld was the biggest comedian around, and he was basing it in New York, and it was his own show that it wasn't safe. Like they just did an episode where they sit in a restaurant and talk about nothing. And that was the premise of the episode, and they weren't afraid to do that shit, so they were able to kind of get everybody on board, and everybody from New York's like, oh, that's my guy. It's New York, it's New York. So they all ride his dick his whole life. Like, he doesn't even make new comedy. Like, he put out a special that was the same special that he had like 20 years ago.
Oh man.
I mean, once you're that level of success, like, you don't have to do anything for the rest of your life.
You
so
just
it's
have to
like,
exist.
who really gives a shit?
The longer you live, the more money.
Yeah,
you make.
It's all about if you have like pride in yourself and want to actually like contribute something new to society.
Yeah, but how many?
Keep it going?
But how many comics out there? Sorry, I couldn't fucking say that word for whatever reason. How many comics out there could actually say they've contributed more than the Seinfeld show? So, like, even to your point, he still wins against like almost everyone.
He had the best show. Like it was the best show at the time. He even left on top.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't argue with that.
Yeah. Maybe my criticism is more a commentary on how different mediums of entertainment age over time. Because like you watch something that's more action based, it can look cool and still have suspense, but the special effects probably start to suck after a period of time. You could watch something romantic and all those feelings, they don't leave. That setting, if they deliver them right, can leave. But comedy is usually relative, right?
Yeah. Speaking of like things changing over the years, what I notice the most of is when I go back and watch old movies, I love the cinematography of them. The actual, like, the way they got certain shots, and it's all so well put together. But the VFX sucks.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's almost backwards nowadays, where now the VFX is really cool, but they don't give as much of a shit about the specific angles of the cameras because they don't have to worry about it as much anymore.
There's no pause. Like in movies now, it's immediate. You're done the scene, boom, you're right into the next one. Whereas
if you're Michael Bay,
yeah, especially. Well, like you go back and watch like an old Disney movie, and like they'll have the intro will be 8 minutes long, just a little bit of music, no words, just word, like the writing coming down the
all
screen,
the credits,
and you're just sitting there like nothing.
Yeah.
Like I'm just waiting for it to start, and they're completely okay with that.
Well, I feel like
that doesn't happen now.
Yeah, that was before when it was like a lot of work was put into these things, and it was like these people's livelihoods. So it's like all of these people, it took all this whole team to create this one thing you're about to watch. Where nowadays it's like, who gives a fuck? They're all disposable. It's about the brand. One quick brand shot and then into the movie, right?
Yeah. You could also extend that argument though to pretty much like anything in today's era. Like if you think of everything from like its grassroots, like building a movie from the beginning, like, you know, hundreds of years ago when it first started. I don't think movies were made hundreds of years ago, but forgive me on my dates.
It's not recorded.
Everyone could kind of get to a certain level with relative ease, but only the really true talented ones could get you over that hump into like something that we could all be watching because it took that much level of nuance and ability to get there. But nowadays, it's such a gradual slope that you can put so much more on the film, but you know, that can just be whatever. That nuance still doesn't have to apply to the top, but you could have basically a watchable movie without any nuance.
Yeah.
And now that's like what you said, that could apply to so many things. You don't need nuance when the floor is so high that people can just like get on and have something watchable without putting in all that extra expertise and effort.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, that could go for so many things.
Okay. The world's first movie, 1888.
1888. Hey,
that's crazy.
So
that's
100.
Crazy.
No S, but we're there.
Yeah, I find like the old cinema, Charlie Chaplin and stuff like that. The tricks that they did with their cameras was like, again, revolutionary. Like they just started figuring out how to make these film cinemas and like movie picture shows kind of thing, right? But like Charlie Chaplin movies, they did some crazy camera tricks and like perspective hacks, I guess, just to create some really cool things, and it's so cool, right? But yeah, Cinema is a interesting thing.
The Cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
But in reality, if you are an adult watching a movie from before 1990, you're wasting your fucking time. I will never watch one because it's too boring. I've probably seen it. If I haven't, there's a good reason.
Come on,
Unless
man.
it's a Christmas movie. Christmas is the only thing that you can keep it going 10, 15, 20, 30, because it's based off this exact feeling that you're in.
What's your cutoff? Like 1990? And
maybe?
And newer you'll watch?
Yeah, probably even closer to the 2020 number. Probably close to that.
Some classic 90s movies that are like
Superbad.
Pineapple Express. That was like 2015.
Yeah, that's
Superbad?
about
That was
about
like 2007 or something.
Yeah, maybe you're probably right.
I know it wasn't 90s, but like,
okay, so
I can't think of a 90s
for
movie I'd watch.
one of the rare times, I'm gonna back Kyle on this. Like, I hate old movies. It's been one of those things that like I just don't like old movies. Now
I
I'll
don't
admit,
like new movies.
I'll admit there's exceptions. Like if anyone ever wants to sit down and watch Star Wars like original trilogy with me, I'm down.
Fuck that.
Okay, fuck you. This podcast is over.
Okay, we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
But
shut the mics off.
but there's so many like, oh my god, it's a classic film. Like that movie fucking sucks. I was gonna go in about how much I dislike Scarface, but I think I also just hate Italian gangster movies entirely.
We've talked about that specifically.
Yeah,
already.
so that genre is just trash. But old movies that people think are like, critically acclaimed. If Kyle said 1990, when you were talking, my head was thinking 2005.
Any old movie. Realistically, like some people like to rewatch movies. I don't. Like unless it's a series. Like if it, like you said, Star Wars, I'll watch the first one just so that I can kind of get my feel as I'm going through to like remember exactly how I was. But if it's a one-off, I don't care.
Okay, you guys are fucking out to lunch here. Popular 1990s movies: Good Will Hunting, The Truman Show.
Don't care.
Dazed and Confused.
Dazed and Confused, I could do.
Redemption.
No.
Fight Club. Schindler's List. The Big Lebowski. I mean.
Okay, so I've seen about 6 out of 8 movies you just named, and I'll tell you.
The Mask.
So we'll go to 8 out of 9 movies that you just named. I will only actually rewatch. If you put those in front of me, I would watch only one of those.
I would watch all of those
I would rewatch Dazed and Confused because I get high. That is it. If I get high and I'm sitting alone by myself, I turn it on every time.
No, the only one that on there that's worth rewatching if you haven't already seen it is Shawshank.
Bro,
that's the only one.
I actually just rewatched that a bit ago.
That's actually a decent movie. That was one
So
because here's the thing. My lady, she loves watching movies over again. She's the opposite. She finds comfort in watching a movie she's seen 3,000 times. Now that's fine, except most of the time I want to watch something new so we can experience it together, and she's just sitting there already knowing what's going to happen, so only I'm experiencing like this new thing. But that being said, her knowledge of these older movies is extensive compared to mine. I know movies, but like things like almost all those movies you just named, I hadn't seen them until she made me. To her credit,
I would watch all those right now. If I had the time, I would sit down and watch them back to back.
To her credit, she knows what I like, and she can usually like pick a movie for me and be like, "You're gonna like this," and I'd be like, "Fuck that! It's old. I don't want to watch it. I have a pissy attitude because I'm a child." And she's like, "No, Dustin, please just watch it." And it turns out it's really good, and that happens way more often than not.
My problem is like Fight Club was an amazing movie.
Yeah,
but it was amazing because oh shit, they're the same person. I already know.
Spoilers, Kyle. What the fuck? Are you kidding me right now?
Wait, who's the same person? There's no way it's the main character.
That girl and Brad Pitt?
Okay, let's take it back a little bit farther. 80s classic movies.
No.
I'm going to list one right off the bat that I really like, Full Metal Jacket.
No.
That is like a classic that'll stay in my heart forever.
Oh yeah, that's when you're feeling like when you want to really rage against, like you hate your work and you've had a terrible day and you're thinking bad thoughts, you put on Full Metal Jacket.
That's one of those movies that I've heard of. I've never watched and I'm never going to because it's trash.
No, it's actually great.
It's not trash.
Okay, so
It's
The
trash.
Outsiders, never seen it. Trash. Old Batman. What?
The worst Batman, I think that is.
I think that's, what is that? Like Jack Nicholson is the fucking
Yeah,
Joker.
Oh, yeah.
that's tough.
The original Dune.
Trash.
Once Upon a Time in America. Porky's. National Lampoon's Vacation.
This is
that
really
you got to
tough
get
list.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's a classic and a tradition. That's what I watch every
I
Christmas.
still have never seen it.
That's it.
Well, we'll talk
Actually-
about this because of foreshadowing. I'm going to tell you the best Christmas movies later on, but
Do
You
you
will
guys want
not.
to know a secret?
Yes.
I have never, ever watched a full movie of Star Wars.
what are you doing? And
What?
you call yourself a movie fan?
I have seen what was the one with Darth Maul?
Phantom Menace.
The one that everybody hated. I liked it, but
I think that was like
hated.
turn of the century, like 2000s when it came out or something like that. And I went to go see it with my dad.
We were all
and
kids
was,
when it
awesome.
first came out.
Yeah.
Coming from the guy that's been like, dude, come watch Dune with me. Come watch Dune. Dune is fucking Star Wars. It's just a different version of it. Are you kidding?
But the cinematography, bro. And their eyes. Haven't you seen their eyes? They're blue.
That's crazy.
I want to watch it just for that.
Well, even something that you might actually care about, but in the newer Star Wars, some of their fight scenes that they'll use old footage to kind of to make it seem like it's the same time. Because the one with Darth Vader attacking, getting Princess Leia, the remake one that they had at the end.
Yeah. Okay. So Kyle's talking about.
Sounds like they're cutting corners.
Kyle's talking about Rogue One.
Yes, Rogue One.
Rogue One is tied into the very first Star Wars movie, as in it takes place just before. So they used some old footage and they used kind of like CGI to bring back actors that had died and de-age Princess Leia so that they could fit it all into the movie and make it so you could watch them back to back and it would kind of fit.
I mean, I just listened to all of those words that you said, but I was so uninterested.
Oh, this guy's talking so much shit.
I feel like my wife is talking to me right now because every time I bring up Star Wars, this is a conversation.
Honestly,
so like, didn't they like? Aren't they sellouts? Like, they like Disney owns them now.
Yeah,
couple of little bitches.
George Lucas, he's the sellout.
Yeah, because like didn't they like basically? They're gonna make a Star Wars movie every Christmas.
I fucking hope so, because if you guys want to know the top 10 Christmas movies of all time, it's whatever movie
Star Wars.
It's whatever movie Star Wars releases that year. I'm telling you now.